My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, welcome to the Meditation Before the Holy Mass series. Today we reflect on this theme: true knowledge of God transforms the heart. In the letter to the Romans, St. Paul proclaims that the gospel is the power of God for salvation to all who believe. Through it, God's righteousness is revealed. Yet Paul laments that though humanity once knew God, they failed to honor or thank Him. Instead, they exchanged the truth for falsehood and began to worship creation rather than the Creator. Their hearts, once filled with light, became darkened. Paul's words are striking because he is not speaking of ignorance, but of neglect. They knew God, but that knowledge remained in the mind, never reaching the heart. When knowledge of God does not become love for God, it leads to idolatry. And idolatry is not always the worship of statues or false gods. It can be the subtle worship of self, of possessions, of appearances, of control. When we turn our eyes from the Creator to created things, our hearts lose their direction and the light fades within us. In the Gospel, Jesus reveals this same truth in a very personal way. He dines with a Pharisee who marvels that Jesus does not follow the ritual of washing before the meal. Jesus responds with a sharp but loving correction. You Pharisees clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside you are full of greed and wickedness. The Pharisees knew God's law, but their knowledge remained external. They polished their behavior for others to see, but inside their hearts were untouched by mercy. What unites these two passages is the danger of a faith that stays on the surface. In Romans, people recognize God, but do not let that recognition lead to worship. In Luke, people practice religion, but do not let it lead to transformation. Both fall into a kind of spiritual myopia, seeing without truly perceiving, knowing without truly loving. True knowledge of God is not simply having correct ideas about Him, it is communion with Him. It is allowing His truth to penetrate the heart, to cleanse and renew us from within. To know God in the biblical sense is to be united with Him, to see the world through His eyes, to love as He loves, and to let His mercy reshape our thoughts, our desires, and our actions. Jesus tells the Pharisees, "Give alms from within, and everything will be clean for you." In other words, open your heart. Let compassion and humility spring from within you. It is not the outside that sanctifies the inside, but the inside that makes the outside pure. So, my dear friends, today's word invites us to look within. Do we truly let what we know about God change us? Do our prayers and religious practices flow from a heart transformed by grace, or only from habit and appearance? Have we allowed the light of faith to reach the hidden corners of our lives? Let us remember this truth. Knowing God should always lead to loving Him, and loving Him should always lead to becoming like Him. When we allow the knowledge of God to reach the heart, our lives are no longer divided between appearance and reality. They become whole, shining with the beauty of gratitude, humility, and mercy. May the light of Christ purify our hearts, so that what we know of God becomes the truth by which we live.